New hobby, complete obsession. You research everything, buy all the equipment, tell everyone about it. This is it. This is finally the thing. 2 weeks later, nothing. Zero interest. You've already moved on. If your closet is a graveyard of abandoned hobbies, if you've started and quit more projects than you can count, if your identity is basically person who can't stick with anything, this is for you. Because what feels like a character flaw, it's actually your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. You're not lazy. You're not uncommitted. You're not broken. Your brain is wired to seek novelty over mastery. And there's actual neuroscience behind why you burn through interests like they have an expiration date. We're talking dopamine systems, ADHD mechanisms, and a personality type that society completely misunderstands. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why this happens, what it means, and why you might not need to fix it at all. Let's map the pattern, because if you're nodding along, you already know these 4 phases by heart. Phase 1, obsession. The honeymoon. This new thing is everything. You're researching at 2 a.m. You're buying supplies you don't need yet. You're telling people, I think I finally found my passion. The energy feels infinite. Phase 2, the plateau. Suddenly, it's not new anymore. The learning curve flattens, it requires consistent effort instead of excitement, and that's when the dopamine drops. Phase 3, abandonment. Interest doesn't fade slowly, it disappears completely. You don't even want to look at it. The guilt is there, but the motivation, gone, and you're already scanning for the next thing. Phase 4, the restart. New obsession appears. This one's different. This is the real one, and the cycle begins again. Sound familiar?
Here's what makes this so brutal. You feel like a fraud, like you're incapable of commitment, like everyone else has this magical ability to stick with things and you're missing the gene. You've changed majors, switched careers, ghosted hobbies you swore were your calling. Your browser history is 47 tabs of interests you'll never return to. And every time you quit, there's that voice. What's wrong with me? But there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain just works differently. And understanding why changes everything. Let's start with the most common reason, ADHD brain chemistry. Even if you've never been diagnosed, hear me out. ADHD brains have chronically low baseline dopamine. Dopamine is your motivation chemical, your reward system, your this matters signal. And when your baseline is low, your brain becomes a dopamine-seeking machine. Here's where it gets interesting. Novelty creates massive dopamine spikes. New hobby, dopamine floods in. New project, your brain lights up. Learning something for the first time, chemical jackpot. But here's the problem. Mastery requires repetition, and repetition is boring for an ADHD brain. Once the novelty fades, the dopamine crashes. And when dopamine crashes, interest doesn't just decrease, it vanishes. You're not quitting because you lack discipline. You're quitting because your neurochemistry literally stops rewarding you for continuing. Your brain is searching for the next dopamine hit, and it will find it in something new. This isn't a bug. For your brain, it's a feature. But wait, not everyone who loses interest quickly has ADHD. Some people are what's called multipotentialites, a term coined by Emily Wapnick. These are people with multiple intense interests instead of one singular passion, and society has no idea what to do with them. Characteristics? You're curious about many things. You learn quickly, up to a point. You lose interest once you've mastered the basics. You don't want expertise, you want variety. You're a Renaissance person in a world that worships specialists. Here's the key difference. ADHD brains can't sustain interest. It's neurological. Multipotentialites don't want to. It's preference. Both are valid, both are real, but the experience is completely different. Now there's a third possibility, and this one's darker, depression and anhedonia. When it's a symptom of depression, the pattern shifts. It's not just hobbies, it's everything. Things you used to love, nothing. And critically, there's no replacement. You're not jumping to a new interest. You're feeling flat about everything. The difference, ADHD and multipotentialite brains jump to new interests constantly. Depressed brains lose interest in everything and stay there. If that's you, this isn't about brain wiring. This is about mental health, and that needs a different kind of attention.
Here is a new approach that changes everything. You aren't lazy, nor do you lack passion. You don't have a fear of commitment either. You might be option A, someone with an ADHD brain. Seeking dopamine is a matter of survival, not weakness. Novelty isn't superficial, it's how you learn. Option B, a multipotentialite, a Renaissance person in a world obsessed with specialists. Variety doesn't imply a lack of depth, it's a different kind of depth. Or option C, someone who is still searching, and that is perfectly fine. Trying things out is how you discover. Here's what society tells you. Find your one true passion. Master it. commit to it for life. But some brains say, find many interests, explore widely, move on to something else when you're ready. Both approaches are valid. The problem isn't your brain, but the expectation that everyone should function the same way. And most people won't admit this. The world needs both types of people. It needs specialists who dedicate decades to perfecting a craft, and it needs generalists who connect ideas across different disciplines. Innovation doesn't come from doing just one thing forever. It arises from combining unexpected elements, and that is precisely what your brain does naturally. Steve Jobs studied calligraphy. Thanks to that, we have computer fonts. The best ideas come from people who have explored diverse fields, rather than limiting themselves to just one. Your inability to stick to a single thing isn't a flaw. It could be your greatest advantage. Do you lose interest in things quickly? How many hobbies have you given up this year? Do you have an ADHD brain, or are you multipotential? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. And if this resonated with you, you might be interested to know why some people need to have everything planned out, outings, days, and so on, while others find that concept completely alien. It's the same idea, just with different wiring. Click here to find out which category you fall into. Before you go, hit subscribe if this made you feel less weird and more understood, because that is exactly why I make these videos. See you in the next one.